Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Bale, Senior Editor over at the Koalition.com.
And I'm Josh Lamage, writer for the Koalition.
And we are back with Star City Season 1, Episode 7, Plow Deep. What a name. What a name. I'm not going to get nasty with this. I'm just saying. We know it's farming related. I'm sure people are like, oh, we've got a potty mouth and a potty brain. No, it's just funny. Because I was trying to figure out, how does this link? You're in space. Where are you plowing? But we find out it's Belikova, farmland, all that stuff. And so, I mean, we just watched it. It was a good episode. It moved a little slow compared to the other episodes that we've had this season. But hey, they did make it to space. And I feel like every episode, I'm trying to think if there was one. There has to be, right? There has to be one. Put in the comments if you
one
remember.
Episode where there was no space.
Yeah, where there was no space. No space. I feel like every episode they get into space. And if we do get a season 2, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a larger setting in space, spend more time out there, maybe with a space base, or we do something. I still have a feeling if we get a season 2, it will connect in some way with For All Mankind when they did get to the moon, because it was season 2 where on FAM they made it on the moon and had a base, and Russia also had a base. You know, the Soviet Union, they also had a base, and then in China there was a bunch of other bases, and it was causing problems and stuff. So maybe they'll go there, or maybe they'll just bypass that and keep focusing. But either way, this was good. They made it to they're back in space.
I feel like this episode felt long, but at the same time had a lot of information. Like everything was really compact in a way, which was really, it was cleverly written, I will say, for like all that.
And we talk about it, and everyone says it in the comments the same thing. It was like, this is very fast, and no playing with your phone when you're watching this show. If you really want to absorb and get the full feel of this show, you need all the attention. You need to just give yourself to the show and say, take me on this journey. Throw me into this realm and this time period. And we actually did a little jump here to 1971, because that's how this episode starts. 1971.
So the Colonel is walking around Star City, and we hear like a voiceover talking about the cosmonauts that died last summer. We see a little picture of a memoriam kind of like statue with the faces of the cosmonauts. Sasha, it was
Sasha
on there?
Yeah, Valley. What? How dare you? How dare you?
No, but I'm saying, no, I know, but I'm saying since he's a traitor, did they put his?
They didn't. No. They can't say it.
They didn't say it.
They can't say it because remember that makes them look bad. That's why they were like, no. They can't say it. And then
so it's all three of them.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't show the husband. I didn't see Chada's husband there. They probably sent them right back to India. They were like, well, we don't need you.
You're done.
Right, you're done. We only need.
Okay, so no one knows about the whole Valia thing. They kept that under wraps in Star City.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, crazy. But instead they sent up another satellite that's going to be doing surveillance called Salute 1.
Salute 1.
And basically they're using it to survey, things on the ground, missiles.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's for space. It's a science vessel. Come on, Josh. What you don't buy into all the propaganda. Don't be no.
I'll try not to.
That's just America spreading their lies. This is a science vessel of peace, and it's just searching the stars and stuff. Yeah, of course. They're surveying. What was it? Some film dropped in the U.S., right? And he said that was it Bush found it. It was like I found that funny. That's why I do love when they throw these things in here. And I was like, oh yeah, his people found it and this whole thing. And they're like, oh no, what do we have to fix this. We have to fix this because this is making us look bad. We're supposed to be a science vessel. How did this happen?
Right. So then we get Sergei.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the gulag. He's not arrested or anything. I was like, okay, what's the deal with this? So he's walking into the space department, but he sees everyone working on the stuff, but he's not with them anymore. He walks downstairs. They got him doing a desk job. But he's still working on other things that
he's still on that project, right? I thought they were gonna have him in the mailroom or something like that.
Well, I mean, the guy that's in charge comes up to him and he's like, "Hey, I need you to run this stuff and find this information." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm running these equations right now." And he's like, "I don't care." He's like, "Do this."
He is a Soviet Union version of the boss from Office Space. Remember that comes over. Yeah, I need those TP reports, but I have to leave soon. I need these reports. Yeah, thanks. It's like because he even says he was like, I gotta go. He's like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, dude, this is it. This is
He's Sergey's hating his life now, so it's like it's sad.
It could be worse. And that's one thing we thought right at the end. And it comes up later in this episode that they were pretty much him and all the other scientists were spared as long as chief designer took the blame.
True.
So go ahead.
Then we get Anastasia. She's working on a tractor. She's on a farm, so she's out of Star City. She's doing her own thing. She wakes up her father, and she's like, "I have to go talk to the farmers union and give a little speech and stuff." And he's like, "Oh no, like you're still mourning Sasha," and she is. Like they had that connection, but before he left. And this is her way. She's distracting herself with this work and this farm life and stuff. And
so real quick, because I thought that as well, but then later on when the deputy guy shows up, right, he says that this is her job. She's still out there doing the work. They sent her out there to do this. Yeah, they understand what's going on with her, but they still have her doing these works is what I'm saying. She didn't want to go and speak at that meeting, the farmers meeting. It looks like this is still what she has to do because he showed up there. So it's like, yeah, it's not like she's there. Because at first I was like, oh, remember she talked about how she likes being on the farm. She prefers that lifestyle. And I figured after Sasha's passing, go live back home with dad. Just go back, throw your mind in it. But it seems like, no, they purposely put her in that spot. It's like, all right, while you're there, you're going to go to do these meetings and stuff like that.
Well, that brings us to the biggest thing that we learned in this episode is that no one really leaves Star City.
No.
Even if you're not in Star City, they're watching you. There's some limitations to your freedoms, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she's still doing her thing. At least she's home with her father, I guess. So there's some kind of sense of normalcy in some way. But yeah, yeah, it's a tough little situation, but
tough life.
Yeah, that's when we hear the radio station, the TV station talking about George Bush, saying that the Soviets are using that satellite for surveillance. And so now we got a whole situation going on.
Now we do know the true story. Remember with the satellite that was coming around, people were picking it up on their radios with the beeping and stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, they do have something that was orbiting the planet. That was a thing back in the day.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Dennis and everybody else is nodding. Yeah, I remember this. I know what he's talking about. This was a thing.
So then we get Irina walking with her daughter, and her daughter's like, "I miss piano. I want another piano teacher. Well, I miss Tanya. Maybe Tanya's coming back." And Irina's like, "She's not coming back." Like crazy.
Well,
but
I do hope we see her in the final episode next week. So hopefully, she may not come back to Star City, but maybe come back to the show. I'm curious to see where she's living, what she's doing, unless she's still living in that. No, she can't be living there. In that fancy apartment that Irina set up for her. She's got to be on the run.
That. She was with
that's what I'm saying.
American agent, and that agent said all that stuff to her. So then she dipped.
Yeah, but then she went.
Irina went after her, right?
Yeah. She went to her place. She went to the apartment, and it was that whole scandal, and she went running. So
there has to be something more with her. But again, given the information that we find out at the end of the episode, 100%. But then Irina's back at work. She's listening to a mundane conversation from another couple. It's not as fun as what she was having before. She like sighs, she's just hating her life. And then we get Radomir, the new chief designer, walking in.
Brand new. Big boss. Now, if you remember, this was the guy that knows Irina from the same area, the same neighborhood. They come from the same spot. And I don't know, he gave me the vibe that he's interested in her. Yeah, even in that first interaction, I felt like he's like, oh yeah, and just gave her that look. Fantastic acting then, because I picked up the signals instantly. So it was like, if that's it, and to find out and do an interview with the cats, like I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Right? I don't remember. That's not what we were going with at all.
He says hello to her as he's walking to his office, which was, I believe, the Colonel's old spot or something, because now she's responding. She's reporting to him, and the colonel is completely getting undermined by this new chief designer guy because he's reporting directly to her superiors.
Now, wait. So I thought that was the chief designer's office because the colonel's office is outside the surveillance room.
Oh, true. Okay.
Remember? Yeah, because if you go outside the surveillance room,
And she's still in charge of them, so then that would make
she's still in charge of them. And then there's the dude that sits in the left that you have to get permission and slips and things like that with the tapes, and you have to hand the tapes off and do the whole thing. It was like a little setup that they showed in the back area. And then
fairly similar though.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was the scene also in the beginning where the colonel gives the surveillance footage from Salyut 1, the pictures over to him, and so her job is on the line, really. I mean, she's really trying to do everything she can to keep this power, but she
should have been fired. I mean, we thought that that's what we were going to see here. That it's like, that's it. She lost her job. She just cost these astronauts, these cosmonauts, their lives and all the craziness. But no, it didn't happen. It looked like it was business as usual. It's just they had to cover things up, but they did change things up, and they put out all the blame on old chief designer, and then Vladimir, this one, took over, and he's the big boss.
That was a twist. I was like, oh man, here we go. But I mean, I knew that they were gonna, have to get rid of him for his actions. I guess he went against everything, so some repercussions there. But Anastasia is now at the farmers' union meeting, and she gives a little speech, and then she's like, I'm gonna play footage of my life, basically, me growing up in the farm and heading to the stars. So they play it, and then deputy chairman stands next to her, and he's like, you're doing great. Like, I'm so happy to be here. Wouldn't dream of missing it. He's like, the film will tour the Soviet Union and will travel west.
She's got a movie. That's crazy. Like a biopic of her life. And it's emotional because she's standing there and she sees this, and she sees Sasha. And even though they weren't married long, it's painful. It's painful because they were just finally connecting.
Yeah.
That last
scene,
what could have been. And from the time period, what they said for the 9 months, and that's why when they splashed that 1971, and then they said the summer a few months back, so it wasn't a big time jump. And I know some people in the comments that they talked about no big time jumps. This wasn't a big time jump, this small one, but the timing within the months, 9 months, it's not. A bunch of things popped up in our heads. It was like it could be either that was when the ship was supposed to come back. Also, with Belikova, maybe she could be pregnant. We could squash that. That's not a thing, or else she would have been showing. So there's none of that. There's no little Sashas running around. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
But Anastasia is really affected by this footage that she sees. She asks to be excused. She walks outside. She crouches behind a car, so I guess no one could see her. She cries. She's really feeling this separation and this change. But then we get back to where all the engineers are working in their main space department, and the colonel is talking to this guy. Now I don't think we got a name, but he's somebody that he's an engineer that worked under the past chief designer, and she's basically like, hey, like, we need to figure things out because the Americans found this evidence, this capsule. We want to know why it's floating over there. How could we get it in a different trajectory? And he's like, I can't help you. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Admit that your loyalties still lie with the former chief designer.
There's only one chief designer. Radomir Petrovsky's a KGB stooge who can barely tell the difference between liquid oxygen and vodka.
May I remind you, this conversation is being recorded. I would choose your words very, very carefully.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't care at this point. And he's an older guy, so maybe that's it. He's like, what's the worst? That's just going to send me away, and I don't know who knows how.
Here. It's crazy.
I don't think he cares. It seems like the younger ones, the younger scientists are the ones that worry more. We notice a pattern. A lot of the older guys are like, whatever, man.
He's like, there's no one here to inspire anybody. Ideas don't just come out of thin air. And the only person that could, and then the next scene is like him getting escorted out by an officer.
He's fired, and then some guy is just standing there with a stepping off. Right, he gets promoted. Look, there you go. You're now the boss. There you go. It's just that easy, just like that. See, and everybody's replaceable. Everybody's replaceable.
Then we cut back to Sergey. He's in his office, at his cubicle, and he walks to a cabinet, and this other guy sees him walk towards the cabinet, and he stands next to him, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to work at this university?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have this whole letter here for the university. If you could send it over." And he's like, "Okay, like, are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I need a change. Like, Star City isn't what it used to be." So Sergey wants to get out.
Yeah, I guess there's no HR department or anything where he can just like formally step down and say, "Yeah, I won't put in." Because if that's the case, he could tell them that he wants to leave or resign. But I think he knows. I think everyone knows that once you take this position in Star City, especially as a science level, you know too much. You're stuck. This is your own prison, and it's a shame. But that's come on, it's got to be true. And I feel a lot of companies do this. When you get too deep and you know the complete inner workings, it's like they won't let you go. They won't let you go. You're gonna have a horrible accident when you fall down the stairs or something like that. They're gonna find a way to make sure you either leave on their terms or you never leave. And
True.
that's what I got from this. I was like, there's no way they're gonna let him get
Too
out.
valuable.
Yeah, too valuable. And he knows too much of what happened. He knows the value situation. He knows all that stuff. Like we said, that didn't get released to the press. They don't know that. So what's stopping him from,
Writing a
going to
book.
France? No, definitely not there. But I mean, leaving to the
No,
US.
yeah.
Yeah, he goes up, and then spills
Sharing
the
info.
beans. Yeah, no, can't do it. Can't do it.
Then we get the original.
We had an image of
the
that.
OG.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yep.
Chief designer.
With a small fedora. What's up with that hat? Too small for his head.
He's rocking the Jason Mraz.
I can't. No, that makes me uncomfortable. I can't see something like that.
We're gonna buy you one. Next, the last video, you should wear one. But
a little cap. Oh,
he's doing his garden. There's still KGB officers watching him, so he's never too free. But I was surprised by this because I honestly thought that he'd be in the gulag or worse.
No. They can't. He's too high profile. That's the thing. Even if they try to throw any stink on him, it's not going to stick because he got the Soviet Union to the moon.
Yeah, so he's a hero.
You know what I mean? He's in a way, he's the hidden hero. All the stuff they're using, all the technology, the schematics, all the algorithms, as he said, everything that came from him. So they can't. I know how they could.
I know how they could flip narratives, so I wasn't sure if they were gonna be like
from certain levels, but I think he's too high up. I think he's just too high up. He's the chief designer. I mean, you can't, if you throw any shade on him, then you might as well throw shade on the entire operation. You know what I mean? Because he has been the big boss. So then it can just trickle down. It's like, oh, yeah, well, he impacted the cosmonaut. He was really the spy, and he was a mole and all. It would cause all kinds of problems. So I don't know. And put in the comments if we missed this. Did they explain to the press what happened to chief designer? Did they say he stepped down? I don't think they said anything about
and if
that.
they did get that info.
Yeah, we didn't get that. But all right, continue.
Maybe they said he retired or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think maybe.
The colonel shows up and he's like, "Oh, great!" Like, she's like, "I see you're sitting nicely with this nice view," and he's like, "Yeah, I got a nice view, except I'm always being watched. All these guys around me." And she basically explains the whole thing with the satellite and how the former engineers are kind of dragging their feet, and he's like, "Yeah, they should be. I can't help you, especially what you did to my eagles. I'm not helping you." And then she goes, "The only reason you're not in prison is because I allowed you to take full blame."
You see, and then that's what I want to know. Full blame for what? I'm assuming they're going to say some kind of malfunction. That's what it was. It was like some tragic accident and this and that, and he took the full blame. But also, she's full of it. She's full of it because we already know there was that quick scene where the new chief designer wants to get rid of her, doesn't like her. Well, it's even said, he was like, you messed things up, a lot of things under your watch. You fell apart. So I think this is all about watching her butt to make sure she's okay. But then also, if this all comes back to her with all this, it's a mess. It could be a little messy, but I think it's all about protecting herself with this. And also, scientists, let's say if the blame didn't go to him, then what? You're going to blame all the other scientists? then the whole operation is over. Shut down Star City because
Yeah, she's trying to
that's
fight
it.
a fire with like other things that cause more fire.
Exactly. So it doesn't really work. All right.
And then she talks about how the new chief designer Radomir and all this, and he's like, wait, they let him use his own name? How nice. You know,
That's I don't know about you people, but I would have loved chief designer. Let's just go with that. I like those type of titles. I would stick with that. I don't want to use my
change your name for the next video.
That's it. Well, I was gonna do that. In fact, final episode then I'll come up with a cool one. The Omega Creator or something like that, or something. That's
the Terminal Creator. But then she's basically like, well, we need you to help provide some answers. And he's like, what? Provide answers like a parrot to the engineers? You know, she's like, well, things are gonna get worse. Everything, this new chief designer is gonna destroy everything that we've worked so hard to build at Star
Who's
City.
we? I was waiting for him to follow with that we, but he doesn't. But and it hits him hard. It does hit him.
He's like, oh yeah, we got audio.
Yeah.
Algorithm on the Venera computer, a way to downgrade high-resolution images from the probe on the surface of Venus into something that can be transmitted back to Earth. They might be able to use that as a starting point.
Oh, so he figured out a way. There's a way to, fight.
He's like, that's all I have to do for you. Like, my time has passed. Now go and find yourself another fool. She stares at him like, all right.
She's like, yes, gotta win.
Anastasia comes home in the next scene.
But real quick, before we go on,
yes,
she did only because I'm just want to bring this up if somebody remembers this. She brought up that he had went to the gulag before when he was younger. Remember? She said,
oh yeah, and then he came out of Patriot.
And he came out as a Patriot. Well, I need more of that. I want to know, how did somebody who goes from the gulag, being tortured, all this stuff, not only becomes a Patriot, but he's the chief designer. He gets promoted all the way up.
We also saw him go to the gulag too, right? Because he got arrested at one point. Oh no, that was Sergei.
No, that was Sergei. That was when they pulled him from his apartment.
Oh yeah, so that's
because he had a comic book or something. He had just some reading materials. Like, how dare you read this? We control
like the gulag's like
brain.
This whole like timeout thing, and then they're like, wait, no, we need you. Like, come back.
Yeah.
But Anastasia comes home, and her father doesn't want to be bothered because he's trying to listen to the TV about news about a drought. And then we see a bunch of cars pull up, and she's like, we have company. And he's like, what do you mean? And we see what's his name, Deputy Chairman Tazanov come in. And he walks in, he tells the father to go get him a drink. He wants to talk to Anastasia alone. They have a shot, and he cheers towards the wall. There's a picture of Sasha. And he's like, to our Soviet Union heroes. And then they sit down, and he's like, I could tell that you guys got really close right before he left and stuff like that. She's like, all right, look, I know you
don't
came
talk about him. You don't say his
Keep
name.
your name out of his mouth.
Right? How dare you? In fact, hold on, grab this glass. She's spitting it. Man, drink that.
I'm losing. She's like, I know you came a long way. Like, what do you want? He's like, well, we want you to command the next mission up to the satellite.
I love their promotion program in Star City. Just all of it. I wish I had that in every job. Think about that. It's like something bad happens to somebody else. Like, Josh, you're now the big boss. Yes. You know what I mean? She's like, yo, I have no trade. It doesn't matter. Didn't stop you before. So here you go. Take it. It's like, I guess. Now, they never talk about money. They never talk about that in this. And I wonder, because if they have so much control and they're this tight grip and just giving out titles left and right,
True.
It's like, are they even compensating well for these? Probably not. Probably not. It's like, oh, I came back from the moon. All right, what am I going to do? Where do I live? Where did you live before? I lived on a farm. Well, then you know where you're going.
How could we cut costs?
Exactly. Oh, you thought you were getting a penthouse? Sorry, sir. Wrong program.
Yeah, but that was actually funny. Yeah, she was like, I didn't train for this. He's like, did that stop you from Lunar 16? She's like, true. And then she goes, I thought the state believed that it would be too risky to go up. And he's like, well, it's on our belief it's too risky to keep you here. And then she goes, he's like, a part of me, like, I thought this is what you wanted. She's like, it's all I've ever wanted, but forgive me. I feel like there's more to this. Like, what are we hiding here? And he's like, well, with the optics of the satellite being accused by the Americans for spying, and she's like, are we? He's like,
Yeah, well, like, listen, we like to look around. Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Just for we're trying to protect ourselves. That's it. That's how he used it, right?
So,
We're trying to
yeah.
protect. That's
She's
it.
the alternate narrative now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
she leaves in the morning, and then she smiles about it. She's excited about it. Sergey, my boy Sergey, just getting torn apart this episode. He comes home, his entire apartment just thrown about. He's looking around.
I remember going to a buddy's house one time like that. I was like, what the hell happened here? And he's like, what? Oh, never mind. It's just a slob. But we know for a fact that's not Sergey's situation. Because remember,
you were joking. You were like, oh, maybe this is just his room.
Right? He lost it. Yeah, things have changed in his life. He doesn't care anymore. Who's he entertaining? No one. But because remember, Chief Designer came over that one time and he was like, oh, you have company? You're making dinner? No. You just play, classical music and making a nice meal. It wasn't a TV dinner for himself. So,
yeah, but his stuff is tossed, and the letter for being a professor,
yep,
on his couch. How unfortunate,
man! So sad, so sad.
Then we get Radomir. He calls in Irina to speak with her privately. He's like, I know you have a lot of potential. Now, he had spoken to the Colonel earlier in the episode about Irina and asking to promote her and stuff. And the Colonel's like, she's under my watch. Like, why would I do that? Like, leave that up.
She's lack discipline. Discipline.
He's like down bad tremendously, or he sees her potential because he's like, your superior is holding you back. He was like, I was assigned to Star City to shake things up. And, if we are to remain on the cutting edge of technology, people like us, you and I, must control Star City. Then he gets like really close there and he's like, look, like, I know what you came from. I know what you experienced, what he put you through, that monster. If he gave you your daughter. And I'm like, oh, like, whoa.
This goes back to what everyone was saying in the comments about the picture when Tanya dropped it and when she saw Irina, it's like, oh, is this the daughter? No. And someone mentioned that she was a servant and that there was some kind of process that you could base off of the garment you could see. And he sort of implies that because he's like, well, something good came out of it is in your daughter. And then she was just trying to change this. Like almost like looking at, I was waiting for her to look at the camera and break the throw. I was like, no, they can't know that yet.
That's the most uncomfortable that I've seen her.
Yeah. She doesn't want to, this is, if anything, it says more about why she has this job. This is just a way of escaping and just living something completely different than what she was doing before. And
she has a sympathy towards family life. You know what I mean? Yeah. The idea of a family or like just a hopeful family. But yeah, she leaves the office. Anastasia is on the bus to the launch site. She speaks to one of the other cosmonauts because there's one cosmonaut that's kind of just on his own. And he's like, oh yeah, that's the KGB guy they sent. His name's Anatoly. Yeah. He's like, they were assigned to work the real reason for this mission. So she's a little wary of him.
And they clearly, that's the other thing. I think that they put Belikova in charge because she's the only senior person at this point because Valia is gone, Sasha's gone. It's like, who else do they have that has any kind of experience, space experience?
That and sway with the public, and this is why they want. All public sway. And she gets out of the bus, and the camera guys are there, and they're like, "Are you excited?" She's like, "Yeah,
wave." I love those pictures. Wave.
This opportunity, to hopefully build the world's first space station up there. And
you know what I want to do with this? And I'm not going to do it, but I wanted to grab just a audio clip of from the movie Obsession, the girl with the smile, and then just put her in the corner there, right next to them, in that frame of when Belikova's waving, and just have the smile. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
It's giving that uncanny valley kind of, I'm dragged and forced to do this kind of vibe. But Anastasia looks up at the staircase. There's a part of like, you could tell that she's happy to be in this situation, a little reluctant on like obviously the mission itself, but she's going back up where she thought she would never do again. And
But
they
this,
get up there.
yeah, and this is what I was gonna say with the pacing. Like this was literally the next day. She went from a farm to get picked up to get shot off into space. Forget about prepping and breathing techniques or whatever it is. I'm sure there's a lot of work. I've seen Do the Right Stuff. I don't know if that's been updated, but I know there's a procedure of things that you have to do and prepare your body when you go to space. But here it's like going down the street. It's like taking a flight to another area. It's like just getting on a rocket ship and take you to space. Not a big deal. You're doing it tomorrow. It's like okay.
They head off, they blast off, and they're headed to Salud, and they're almost there. Actually, on everything's going well. So
2 hours.
The new chief designer gets up in front of everyone. He's like, "Hey, thank you. Our work is not near finished, and we got a lot to do." And he's just giving this uplifting speech and stuff.
He's the best. I
Yep.
love him.
And the deputy chairman comes over and he's like, "We're very pleased with your work. All the higher ups are loving it." And you can see the colonel watching him from afar. She's looking a little salty. She's worried about her job. She's worried about everything because she knows this guy's out to get her. And speaking of him out to get her, left out one big important thing. The chief designer, the new one, spoke to Irina and said, "I need you to come up with some dirt on the colonel. Find out you had an American spy on that ship."
Yeah.
And she didn't know about it? Come on.
Yeah, plus Irina found that's the other crazy part of this. If everybody knows that she found all this stuff out, why is she still working in the surveillance room? She should have already been. We thought she got promoted before.
Yeah, I would
If
be so
anything,
pissed.
all of this should have really just solidified as, hey, you have the corner office now. You're definitely above and beyond right now. But no, she doesn't. And maybe they don't have that tier system. Yeah, maybe there is just Colonel and all us, everybody else. There's no other assistant colonel or super spy.
It seems like everyone's out for their own self. So like maybe leveling up is a little harder unless someone knows you.
Unless someone knows you and just slaps a label like what the colonel did.
Because the colonel likes where Irina is. She could be a ghost for them. You know what I mean? She's just a table person that listens to stuff. Like now she's a spy. No one knows. She's not commanded to do this.
Such a super spy.
But we get this interesting scene where Sergei, he comes back to his desk. He looks over at the other desk where the guy that he handed that professor paper towards, he's not there. He asked about him. Other guys are like, yeah, he hasn't shown up. I don't know. So now he's extra pissed. Sergei sits down. He starts writing his equations and he's scribbling it out. And in parallel to this, we see Anastasia and the guys on the ship connecting with Salyut. So it keeps cutting back and forth. And then Sergei finally gets the equation down. And he's excited. He wants to tell somebody something. He's like,
He looked at his friend's desk. There's no one there. He was never going to see that guy again. That's what I'm getting. That dude is gone. He ruined that guy's life.
For real. Either that or the guy was in on it. And he was supposed to be like spying on
and
it.
then he just gets moved out. I could see that too. Then he sees him later on in like a military outfit and this whole thing. He was like, yeah, it was undercover.
But it seems like he possibly made contact with the professor already. So maybe, and they caught him with that stuff.
I'm thinking that there's just surveillance. Everyone's being listened to, and someone heard him say that, hey, here's this. I'm giving you this for the university, the letter, whole thing. And then they followed him. And
yeah, they caught the letter.
Gave him a whooping. Yeah, they got the letter, and then they went to his place and tore it up, and then dropped off the letter.
It's almost like a sign too, because they didn't arrest him either. They were just like, "Yep," like at least for Sergei, they're like, we're on to you. Like, don't do anything.
Well, he didn't. How is that illegal to try to seek new employment? He still wants to be a professor. Not like he wants to. That's what I'm saying. He's figuring this out now.
Yeah,
I would have thought
I'm surprised he didn't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I would have thought he knew that this was going to be an issue. The fact that he even has to do this little sneakery here, but why can't he just go to Moscow on a day trip and then apply in person?
And the next scene, Irina shows up to the colonel's apartment, and the colonel's like, "Wow, it's so late. Like, what are you doing here?" She's like, "Oh, well, we got some surveillance stuff from the satellite, and the chief designer wants to." Already reported on it. And she's like, well, without my sign off? She's like, can I see the file? And then, of course, a timer in the kitchen rings off. And so she walks off, and Irina's in the room alone.
Irina's just lucky. She's just lucky. But then again, maybe this was the plan all along. It had nothing to do with the roast beef in the oven or whatever was in there. I think when she showed up, as we get into it now, that she's looking around and looks like she was going to plant a bug, but I don't think she was going to do it. I think her intention was to come clean right off the bat. It's like, yeah, I'm here for the file, but then also, hey,
I think so, but then at the same time, she sees that photo.
oh man, you really think she's that soft?
That's what I'm saying, because it's all this, especially with Valia and Tanya. That whole like, Tanya, you can be free, because she could have just reported both of them. It didn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It's this component of some kind of family dynamic where she's looking out for people, but also not at the same time, because she knows that they've all been handed a rough stick and they're just committed to their jobs. Because she's looking here, she sees that she had a daughter, a son named Dima.
Yeah, Dima.
And she's like, the colonel's like, yeah, he was killed during the war.
She's like, I didn't know. Well, yeah, I don't tell everybody. Mind your business. But I still know. I can't believe she's that soft. I can't believe that, because I mean, she should know that this person's look. She just killed the 3, from what they know, killed the 3 cosmonauts. She just doesn't care. She was gonna shoot Sergei.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Irina.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Irina feeling bad for the colonel, feeling soft for it. It's like, no, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah, but Irina wasn't there when they killed the cosmonauts.
But she knows. She has to know that.
Does she know?
I don't know. I don't know. You're right. Thanks. Because now I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think.
The one with the soft spot is Irina, clearly, because she.
Well, there
helped
was plenty
Tanya.
of other scientists in that
stuff.
room. Somebody must have said something. I just can't imagine that everybody. Well, who knows?
Yeah, she's looking out for people. I mean, I feel in the same way she has this job and she's trying to level up. She understands the struggle and the hustle. But at the same time, and then as she's about to leave, she's like, "Oh, there's one more thing. I was gonna bug you." And then
You're
she's
already
like,
bugging me by showing up. Boom, boom, boom.
She's like, "Well, you were ordered to, and you're not following an order from, the chief designer. That's crazy." She's shocked by that. She's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "So you're gonna report to him, and you're gonna report to me." Mm-hmm. And so they got a little deal out of that.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense but in a way, yes and no, because the new chief designer doesn't know that Irina had planned to plant a bug. But if he did know, then yeah, she has to go forward with the mission. If not, it's going to look suspicious.
Well, she says that she was ordered to, so I'm assuming
she was ordered to find information. I guess we could take it as bugging since she works in surveillance. And the surveillance, so maybe they figured, hey, you know how to do this stuff. You know where to put a bug so that way you can listen in on them. And that's it. I don't know her intentions. Because either way, as we know, she's not. The colonel's not a fan of Irina. We heard that. She doesn't know that, but maybe she thinks.
Is. I think she finds her a valuable asset. At the same token, she doesn't want her to overshadow her
German.
Position. She doesn't want to overshadow her position. She wants to keep her close because she feels like she could use her. I think it's a mix of those two. I don't think she is undermining her in that way. Maybe to the new chief designer, because she doesn't want to give him anything that would get him above her in any more way than he is right now. So, but then Sergei's trying to get into the command room. He tries to get in because he found some new information. The guard is not letting him in. Then he sees what's his name, the new chief engineer of the
Stefanov.
Yeah, he's like, please, I need to talk to you. He's like, I'm not even allowed to talk to you. Like, what do you need? He's like, I need to speak with them right now. I need to speak with the cosmonauts. Just please give me some time. He lets him in there.
There must be a back door because they didn't walk through the front past that security. It wasn't like she's with me at the club, No, it was like it must have been like a back area. But yeah, he gets him in there. And it's like, all right, say your piece. Give him a call.
He calls in. He's trying to get someone on there. Anastasia answers. She's like, what do we need to do? And then Sergei takes over, and she's like, who is this? He's like, if you remember me, I'm the one that told you to puncture the hole through your suit to get the CO2 down. And she's like, you're the one that made me puncture the hole in my suit. And he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, no, like you saved me. I owe you my life.
Saved the life.
He goes, okay, well, I need you to switch the comms to a private conversation. So they switch it. And he's like, I need you to run this test for me. And she's like, why? He's like, please just run this test for me. I'm getting these signals, and there's only one thing that I feel could be getting the signal from. Can you go? So she goes and she puts this meter to what 922.76
Megahertz. Yeah.
and she finds a signal, and he's like, "Can you relay it to me?" She sends it over, and Sergey starts smiling, and he can't believe what he just found out. He jumps up, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And he's like,
It's a
"This data is
message.
yeah." Well, he's like, "It's data that's coming in," and he grabs the thing, and he looks at a calendar, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "It's not possible." Where's the signal coming
So,
from?
all right. So maybe it's not a message. That's right, because it's important with the wording. So he said data. So it could be just the ship producing data.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're still alive, because
No.
from last we saw there was an explosion, food. Who knows what was damaged? I know that their air system was shut off, but that was what caused the explosion, right? It was a way to turn off the connection, but then it caused this problem because they were trying to stop the colonel from killing them. So what do you think? Are they still alive? Do you think they're still
I
alive?
think so.
You think so? What about you people? What do you think? I think one person. I'll go with one. Let's go one. If we want the hearts and the feels, let's say Sasha. Let's say Sasha's the only one alive.
It's Chada.
Chada, we barely know Chada. You know, and then if she survives and we're like, all right, where's my husband? We sent them back to India. Our bad, but you can never leave now. You know too much. You know what happened. We can't. Sorry. Don't worry. We have a new guy for you. You know, it's like Igor, come over here. This is me, Chada. She needs a husband. And
I think they're all alive.
You think they're all alive?
I think they're all alive. The whole thing broke off communications. They followed through with the mission.
Oh man, 9
they had
months.
no other choice.
They're probably all anorexic. They're probably all like sticks. You know, they probably smell real bad.
You think the supplies that they had on the ship?
Oh, I think everything got damaged. There's got to be something going on. Yeah, maybe they have long hair and beards and stuff like that. Who knows?
Well, they would have to have something to survive 9 months. I would say they were just rationing stuff. So yeah,
that's you're saying this, or if they all survived, one of them became a cannibal. Maybe Sasha. He started eating them. They're gonna.
I had to eat them all. I'm sorry.
I had to eat them. Oh man, I wouldn't put it past them. Put some kind of weird twist. They wouldn't go like that. I was like, "How did you survive?" Don't worry about it. I just did.
Well, we're missing the biggest thing because Anastasia was like, "What do you mean? What is this?" And he's like, "There's only one ship that would have my algorithm. There's no way." And she's like, "What are you telling me? What are you telling me?" And he's like, "They're going to be showing up right about now." And then we see the ship heading towards Earth.
Yeah,
and the ship looks intact. So,
but we'll see, because they still would have to communicate with it and then have them orbit the planet a few times, at least until they get to the right point, so that way they could descend and land in the Soviet Union somewhere, or in like a big mountain area field and fight a bear.
They're gonna land in the United States.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they don't have contact, if they can't communicate, which we know they can't because that was damaged, who knows where they're gonna land?
There we go. Okay, they're gonna land, and Anastasia is able to pinpoint where they land because she's in that satellite.
She can see it. Yeah. There we go. And then they sneak well, we still haven't seen the colonel implement the algorithm that old chief designer gave her. We don't even know if that's even been put into motion. I don't know what she did with that info, if she told the scientist, remember? So I don't know if that's happened. So if anything, maybe the Americans are still able to see what's going on. Because I think that's what he was also saying. Well,
I think where they're going to land is going to be a huge point of this, and finding that information to try to extract them. And also maybe if Valia is alive, depending on where they land, they're going to flip the narrative so that maybe he could not be arrested or whatever upon landing. You know, they're going to come back as heroes and stuff. We're not dead. We came back with
we made it. Yeah.
So it's like,
and it's a whole cover up. They're like, all right, we'll do everything. You'll get a statue. We'll hook you up. It'll be great.
But that's if everything ends in a solid way. You know what I mean? If we're talking about multiple seasons, then something's going to twist at the end in the wrong way. So, you know, but yeah, that would be a positive ending, I think.
It could be. But what do you people think? What do you think so far with Star City? This was a good episode. Big twist. Now it's a big question of, is everyone alive on this ship? Is no one alive on this ship? Is it a ghost ship? The cannibalism. I'm going with cannibalism for Sasha. And it's going to be a dark secret. No one's going to know how he survived. He was like, I only had so much spam to eat. And then I ran out of it because a lot of other stuff got contaminated when we had the big fire. And so I had to, make do with what I had.
I ate Valia. I had to come back.
You eat who was ever. Oh yeah, that's right. What if Valia's the only one alive? Then what? Oh, wait a minute. They can't. If they covered everything up, they can't accuse them for anything because there's too much of attention on them. So yeah. I don't know. I blanked out. All right. Well, there we go, people. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe, share. Yeah, let's go. USA. We're winning the World Cup. We're gonna win it all, just like these people surviving. All right, everybody. Have a good win, and we will talk to you next week for the finale of Star City. Peace.